With the Euros around the corner, it is a return to the top flight of the Nations League for Wales. And it's in from Bonnet-Sayer. It's only taken 4 minutes. It's free for James, has tried it, hits the post. And Wales have lost, but they certainly haven't disgraced themselves in Monza tonight. It's going to be spilled and it's going to be scored. Sweden so silky in attack. Claims the back ball, penalty! And what a moment this is for Kayleigh Barton. And she's got it! Straight down the middle. For Wales have matched one of the world's best.
There are now only 89 days to go until the Euros start in Switzerland, so less than 3 months for Wales to prepare for their first major tournament. And tonight's Nations League game against Denmark is another part of that preparation puzzle. So far in their group, Wales have lost one and drawn one, so a win tonight would do very nicely indeed. But once again, this is tough opposition for Rhian Wilkinson's side. The visitors ranked 12th in the world. Wales against Denmark, kick-off in around 10 minutes' time. But Wales are not fazed by top opposition, as that 1-1 draw against Sweden back in February showed. Hello there, good evening, welcome along to the Cardiff City Stadium. This the last time Wales will play in the capital before they embark on their European adventure. These three have already started packing. Nia Jones has got that bucket hat in her case.
I lost them in Dublin.
Oh, I know. We need to get them back. We've got Gwennon Harris with us as well, another former Wales international, current Wales midfielder, Sophie Ingle, with us as well. Sophie, you know what's coming. I always ask you this. It's like a monthly checkup with the doctor. How is that ACL doing? I've seen some videos of you running this week. Very exciting.
Yeah, I'm on the next stage of my rehab now. The last couple of weeks I've been on the pitch, so that's been really nice to get the boots on. But yeah, it's just been very slow and basic, getting used to the mechanics of running again. Okay, well, we look forward to seeing you back on this pitch very soon. The big headline for tonight's game against Denmark, no Jess Fishlock. She didn't start for her club on Sunday. We are putting 2 and 2 together here. We're looking at her training as well. Has she got a niggle?
You and I doing maths is a bit of a scary thought. I think she must have, given how Rhian Wilkinson spoke about the importance of her in drawing crowds into a really special occasion here. Last game they're going to play in the capital. For her then not to feature in the starting lineup, we saw that they really struggled without her in the central midfield against Sweden. She must have a niggle, but actually, I'm sure we'll see her make an impact off the bench because she's in the squad for a reason. Yeah, she is indeed. Last time Wales faced Denmark, they lost 5-1 less than 2 years ago. So what is a good performance from Wales tonight? Is it the scoreline, or actually are we expecting much more from Wales by now?
Yeah, we are expecting a lot more. I think the performance obviously needs to be better, but I think the girls are confident enough that they'll be looking at getting a result as well. I'd just like to see us a little bit more compact. I think the last time we played, we were a little bit naive, a little bit too open, and I don't think you can do that against a side that likes to play in between lines.
Sophie, I know you've been in camp this week. They've been happy, the sun has been shining. Tell us, how are the girls feeling?
Yeah, they've come into camp in a good mood. I think going off the back of the last camp where they had a great result against Sweden, you're always going to come into the next camp on a high. They're full of confidence. And like Gwennon said, maybe now we just need to tighten up a little bit defensively and we can really, punish teams that are ahead of us right now.
Right, I'm glad you've got your trainers on. We are going to head to studio, not too quickly, you. As we do that, let's hear from the Wales manager, Rhian Wilkinson, who's been talking to our reporter, Alex Richards.
Rhian, you've made 5 changes tonight from the team that started against Sweden in the last match. Just talk us through your reasoning behind those changes.
Yeah, I think we've seen by now that I'm a manager that does make changes. I'm someone who believes in my squad, and this is the right 11 to start the match, and equally there'll be a different 11 to finish it.
Jess Fishlock, she's on the bench for tonight's match. Just tell us the reason behind that.
Yeah, Jess is an important player for us, and she's always ready to come in, but equally we need to make sure that we've got a squad that can perform whether she's on the field or not.
Denmark, they're going to be a tough test for you tonight. What are you expecting from them?
Denmark's a very good team. I think they've got a real fluidity, especially in the midfield, that's challenging, and it will pose a big challenge to us. But equally, we're trying to prepare for the best, and this is one of the best, and we've got to make sure we raise our game to their standards.
And how important are these matches for preparation for that Euros in the summer? A chance for you to see lots of different players?
Yeah, I've talked about the Euros being the big picture and what we're working towards, but equally these are really important games to grow our own belief, but equally to measure ourselves against some of the top nations in the world. So we're taking it one game at a time.
Rhian, best of luck tonight. Thanks for your time.
We made it. Just about, all four of us. Interesting to hear Rian Wilkinson there talk about the changes. 5 changes between Italy and Sweden, another 5 between Sweden and tonight. Her philosophy as a manager is to mix things up. When we're talking about depth going into a major tournament, that has to be a positive, right?
Absolutely, and we've seen Bellamy do it with the men's side as well. It's exciting for us to find out who's starting each game, and we really do have experience across the squad now that you can afford to pick certain players for certain styles. I really like the team that she's gone with tonight. I know Gwennan's going to discuss how that back 5 changes things a little bit, but I love that she's brought in the experience of Rhiannon Roberts and Lily Woodham that she left out in the first half, crazily now, against Sweden, but boy did they have an impact off the bench at half-time. Obviously we've lost Barton, but when we've lost Barton, we've actually gained Rachel Rowe. So these names now, it's not just a one-man band, it's not just the Jess Fishlock show, as class as she is. There is class all over the pitch now, which is great. You talk about the shape. We have a back 5. Talk us through us, Gwennan. Do you think this is the right shape for this team, Denmark, this evening?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the last time I mentioned earlier when we played them that we were a little bit too naive and a little bit too open. So we're just a bit more compact. We've got that central 3, and then obviously Woodham and Kerry Holland can bomb on then and support the attack. I think we're quite fluid in the attack. And what's interesting for me is that she still hasn't reverted to putting Hayley Ladd at the back that we've seen for so many years, because she's had a superb couple of games in midfield.
This is the sound, by the way, of the Celtic horn. Gwennan, tell us about who's playing this horn.
Yeah, I actually work with this man here, so Mr. Gareth Roberts. He's a music teacher in Ysgol Glantaf. He's very excited, but a bit nervous to be doing this, because it's apparently really hard.
Well, I'm sure it is. He did a fantastic job.
Well done,
Denmark, let's talk about their players. Pernilla Harder, right then, you know her very, very well, former Chelsea player. She's been doing so well for Bayern Munich, scored 6 goals in the Champions League. She is such a danger. She got a hat-trick when they last beat Wales 5-1. They have to stop her tonight.
Yeah, she's a top player, and whatever team she's been at over the years, she's a goal threat at the end of the day, and we've seen that 2 years ago when she scored 2 goals against us, and probably linked to what Gwennan's saying with the back 5. That's maybe why we've gone a back 5, to maybe protect a little bit, because sometimes we'll have to double up on her.
Have you been impressed with the Wales defence? Have they improved in that area with Rian Wilkinson at the helm?
Definitely. I just think there's a stubbornness and a confidence about them. I can't look at that lineup now and think they're ever going to leak 5 goals. Definitely not at home. Let's remember, Rian Wilkinson, as Welsh manager, has never lost a game on Welsh soil, so that will give them huge confidence going into tonight. I know they're 12th in the world, but given the fact that they picked up a point against Sweden, they'll be full of confidence tonight.
Do you think other countries will be looking at that result against Sweden and they'll think, oh, hang on, Wales are not just making up the numbers at the Euros, they are here to compete, they look comfortable with the ball, a win is coming soon for them against the top side?
Yeah, I don't think many teams would want to play against us, because as Nia said, you know, we're relentless as well, without the ball especially, and I just think, you know, we rather that tag as well. We'd rather be the underdogs. I think we perform so much better when there's less pressure on us, and we can go and surprise, and hopefully we will actually have a lot more numbers bobbing forward to support an attack this evening as well.
Sophie, we're seeing some lovely pictures there, and Hannah James, the captain, hugging one of the mascots. It's lovely to see.
Yeah, it's her little brother actually. I think he tries to be mascot as much as he can before he grows too big, but yeah, he idolises her, and you can see that, you know, the way he's looking up at her.
Yeah, it is pretty special. You can hear Zombie Nation in the background. The teams are good to go. Gwennan Harris, you have to leg it up to commentary, because waiting for you there is Simon Davis. Good evening, Simon.
Thank you, Catherine. Good evening. Wales continue their campaign against top-seeded nations and continue the build-up to their summer in Switzerland and the European Championships. And after that draw against a really strong Swedish side, who would bet against Rian Wilkinson's team tonight? Wilkinson's attitude is to become the best. You have to face the best. And they've certainly done that so far in the UEFA Nations League. This crowd in Cardiff hoping to see another proud performance from Wales after a solid start to their Nations League campaign, including that draw against Sweden in Wrexham. The sun is shining in Cardiff, and Rhian Wilkinson has made 5 changes from that draw against Sweden. Rhiannon Roberts returns to the defence, as does Lily Woodham. Leicester's Hannah Kane is back in to spearhead an attack, supported by the returning Rachel Rowe of Southampton and Bristol City's Fionn Morgan. Noticeable by her place on the bench, Jess Fishlock. So too Charlie Escort, Carrie Jones, Ella Powell, and there's no Kaylee Barton due to injury. There are 4 Danish changes to the team that beat Italy in February. Crystal Palace's Katrine Weyer and Katrin Kohl of Roma, as well as Fiorentina's Sophie Bredgaard, come into the team. Dropping to the bench, 2 more Fiorentina players, Emma Ferge, Emma Sneller, as well as Paris Saint-Germain forward Amelie Vangsgaard. Captain Pernilla Harder is one of the world's most high-profile players. Referee Michalina Diakov leads a team of all Polish match officials this evening. And it's Harder and James, the respective captains and the respective coaches, Rhian Wilkinson and Andre Jelgerts, who leads this Danish team. Well, amongst the team huddle there, and Harry James, the captain of Wales. And as you can see, the number 13 there of Rachel Rowe of Southampton, back after a thigh injury, which ruled her out of the games against Italy and Sweden in February. Rachel Rowe winning cap number 73 this evening. Pernilla Harder, one of the world's best players, has already scored in this campaign. A penalty against Sweden, although that was a 2-1 defeat. And Kerry Holland has been one of the standout performers in this Nations League so far, and almost scored a brilliant winner against Sweden in Wrexham. And I'm delighted to say that Gwennon Harris has made her way back from pitch side, and you haven't even broken sweat, Gwennon.
No, well, thankfully I got in the lift, so the lift was a bit quicker and it didn't break on me.
Well, it's a sun-drenched night in Cardiff, and another top-seeded test for Wales in the Nations League. It's Denmark who've come to Cardiff. Can they be humbled in the Welsh capital? That is the big question, Gwennan. But Wales have certainly held their own so far in this Nations League campaign.
Yeah, they have, and it's another big test this evening. They'll be hoping to get off to a good and a strong start. It was the last time they played here, conceded an early penalty, and it's imperative that they, try and build their way into the game, not give away any errors like that.
And Olivia Clark immediately trying to play it up towards Fionn Morgan, Harder with a header. And the Danes, who have been used to scoring goals here in Cardiff, remember their 5-1 victory here. And I think Wales will be looking to put that certainly behind them. A lot has happened since then in that previous Nations League encounter. And of course, both teams will be heading to the European Championships this summer in Switzerland. So I think this campaign, ideally for both teams, is somewhat of a preparation for that. Here's Rowe.
I've just seen already, just Wales matching the shape that Denmark play. They've started the Nations League campaign, Denmark, with a 3-back, drop to a 5 when they defend. Sometimes they drop to a 4. A lot of teams play different systems and formations, in and out possession. And Wales opting for that 5-back out of possession.
Holland finding Ladd, playing further forward up the pitch. We're so used to seeing her, for Wales anyway, as part of a defensive unit. Just by trade, she is a very accomplished midfielder. And it's all about experimenting, isn't it, ahead of the European Championships. That is what Rhian Wilkinson intends to do, you feel?
Yeah, most certainly, and you have to have different styles and be able to adapt, you know, different plans for different teams and be able to adapt within those games then, and that's what she's trying to develop.
Ball forward from Trollsgaard. Won by James. Trollsgaard winning her 194th cap tonight. Most convincing of passes from Ostergaard, the goalkeeper. Denmark through Via. Stopped in her tracks by Rachel Rowe. Good to see Rachel Rowe back, of course. Missed those games in February.
Yeah, she's an important part of the Wales squad, isn't she? And she brings so much attacking threat, as well as her tenacity off the ball as well, setting the press.
Harder. Supported by Holmgaard. Tackle by Roberts. Holland has gone to ground. Harder continues. A dangerous ball in the area, and the danger not away. Here's Cole. And the block and the clearance eventually from James. Well, I think Kerry Holland was looking for the decision before Harder put that ball in. And I wasn't quite sure whether it was her shot or a cross to that back post.
Well, she's got Gemma Evans to thank on 2 occasions. Firstly, just reading the danger at the back post, being able to track the run of Brune, and then just following up on that then to close down and block the shot from the edge of the area as well. One of Rhian Wilkinson's ever-presence. Gemma Evans, along with Hayley Ladd, played every minute of her 12 games in charge so far.
Been a commanding presence, the Liverpool player for Wales. Roberts, back to Clark. Risky stuff, but did well to find Roberts again. This is nicely done by Wales from defence, but it was Rowe who gave it away. Via. Harder. And the clearance eventually from Josie Green. Well, Denmark lost their opening game in the Nations League to Sweden, at home as well, before responding with victory out in Italy.
Just see from the picture just how high Denmark push their 2 wing backs forward. So it's as if they've got 5 against 5 basically, and then you've got Harder and Bredgaard just coming off, then just dropping into the little pockets at times.
Morgan trying to read the run of Woodham. Well, Woodham has got pace, but I think we perhaps would have preferred to see Phil Morgan on the receiving end of that pass. Nice vision, though. Well, Wales have the free kick. In fact, it's going to be a retaken throw-in. And it's Evans. Green.
And just see the same then with Wales. Look how high they're trying to push Lily Woodham, Kerry Holland onto the back line and pin the Danish wing backs back.
James, calmly done. Here's Roberts. Holland. Room to cross. James. Was caught in 2 minds. Did have Rowe in front of her. Before she was closed down.
Yeah, just needed to check her shoulder there more than anything, just be aware of what was around. She was taking that touch that she didn't have the time to be able to. But few little good passages of play, build-up play from Wales.
Following in the footsteps of some fine captains as well. The Sophie Ingle-Part of our team tonight, Jess Fishlock has worn that armband as well.
And again, just look at the positioning of Harder. She's just coming into the screen. And Bredgaard as well, just how they're playing in between the lines, between the defensive line and the midfield lines, really hard then.
Holmgaard. Picks out Harder. Oh, and it's in! Finds the corner. Clark was at full stretch. And Brun just swung that left foot and got the power and the precision. And Denmark had the lead.
Well, it's a clinical finish from Brune. I think there was a slight deflection as well, but there's just too much space as it comes in. You know, Brune just picks off. I think there's a slight deflection off Gemma Evans, if I'm honest, but she shouldn't be able to get that space. I was watching her in the warm-up, if I'm honest. Maybe there wasn't a deflection. Maybe I'm doing an in-service, but I was watching her in the warm-up as well. She looks so sharp. Yes, slight deflection there, but again, just the time, shouldn't be allowed the time to be able to just peel off. Or the ball coming in actually from Holmesgard. You know, in that areas of the pitch needs to be pressured on the ball.
Well, Olivia Clark, I think, undone by that deflection, and it just crept in, but take nothing away from the quality of these Danish players. And Wales have to get back into this now. Ball up towards Morgan. Balsinger to Cole. And here's Via. Well, Wales were disheartened when they went 1-0 down against Sweden in Wrexham, and did come back to draw that game.
No, it's just difficult when you're a player, manager, you know, when you've prepared all week for a certain system and then obviously you concede early. You know, a lot of plans then throw out the window a little bit. Disrupts everything that you've been trying. It's just about trying to keep your composure, keep calm, and ensure then that you can still play the way that you're wanting to, but obviously needing to push forward as well to get an equaliser.
Brun linking up with Harder. Here's Hayley Ladd trying to drag the ball away from Danish possession. Holmgaard just behind Harder, and Kerry Holland has time to clear this. But already, and we identified Pernilla Harder as an obvious threat, but she has been in the thick of what Denmark have done dangerously so far.
Yeah, and it's the movements for me. You can see that Denmark are playing different systems with possession and out of possession. So when they've got possession here, they've got the three back and they're pushing their wing backs really, really high, and then Harder and Bregard, what you tend to say, the forward, wider players are really central, so they're vacating every single one of the defenders. So normally you tend to have, if you have a five-back, the central defender, so Josie Green in this case, would be free to be able to mop up anything, but she's actually being taken up by Brune. And they're just clever in their movements.
Well, Brune plays for Real Madrid, turns 27 on Sunday. Pernilla Harder's CV reads just as impressively. Was currently at Bayern Munich, as Katrin was saying, represented Chelsea with distinction. Ultimately, this is the sort of opposition that Rian Wilkinson wants to play. Gemma Granger, her predecessor, said exactly the same thing. You've got to test yourself against the best teams, but you can't afford to make mistakes. Here's Via. Balsinger. It's a lovely weighted pass over to... Has reached Bredgard. Let's bow in towards Harder. Here's Balsinger. It's been a confident start from the team ranked 12th in the world. Holmgaard. Harder. Well, it's opened up. Is it 2-0? Well, a good block from Gemma Evans again. And Torgerson's effort straight at the Liverpool defender. It may go out for a corner here. Well, it is a goal kick, but the pressure has been mounting on Wales.
Yeah, and Gemma Evans again just willing to put her body in the way. Just the time and the space, look, the movements off the ball. And Denmark able to play quickly as well. 1-2 touch, which is really hard to defend against Evans standing tall. It's the third important block in the opening 10 minutes. What's interesting is that Wales are trying to force the ball out wide because of obviously the positions that the forwards for Denmark are taking, but actually those Danish players are then spinning off those players and picking up the pockets of space and making overloads in the wide areas. I'm just struggling to deal with that at the minute. Unsure maybe who's the one that should be taking the responsibility of going or not.
Wales again having Gemma Evans to thank for A block as Woodham takes the throw, finds Morgan in space. Can't be offside of a throw-in. And certainly has pace to exploit this Danish defence. Shame it came to nothing. But Woodham and Morgan certainly linked up well so far on that left-hand side for Wales.
Yeah, and as you said, there's a lot of pace there, isn't there, between them. When a play, especially to Fio Morgan's strengths and running in behind, no defender wants to be facing their own goal in a race, a foot race with her.
Woodham conceding the throw. Lily Woodham missed out on a starting place against Sweden in Wrexham. It was Ella Powell who was preferred in that position.
Yeah, she had a tough evening, fair play, because one of probably the most informed players in Europe in Canada.
That will be the test for Wales out in Gothenburg next week. In the meantime, Rachel Rowe trying to make room on that left-hand side. Tenacious character. Rachel Rowe winning her 73rd cap this evening, the Southampton player. Rowe, the nearest player to the throw. Away by Cull. Risky pass infield. Home guard opting to go back to Balsinger. Ladd to Holland. Ladd again. And Rhiannon Roberts brought into play. And Hannah Kane. The first real touch for Kane this evening.
Yeah, it's pleasing to see her back. Obviously she's been back in the last couple of camps, but just to see her hopefully have a good run now, injury-free. Again, she offers something a little bit different to that forward line.
Always go back to that penalty in Dublin.
Yeah. Ice
cold nerves.
Well, I think she was the calmest. She might not have felt it, but she looked the calmest person.
And certainly a penalty kick she will not forget in a hurry. I do wonder if they're preparing for penalty kicks out in Switzerland. Should Wales get to the knockout stage, then she'd be first on the list. Here is Kane. Trying to find Morgan. Balsinger. Made her debut back in 2012 for Denmark. That was against Brazil. It's been a constant in this team pretty much ever since. Cull. Via. Well, the goalkeeper Ostergaard is well out of a penalty area here. Oh. An awkward position.
Yeah, Josie Green just stepping forward then to try and intercept, and just to foul her. She's had a bright start to the game as well, winning a few of those battles and those duels, 1v1 duels.
Green. Hayley Ladd. Wales seem to have settled in the last couple of minutes or so.
Yeah, and I think it's important that they have, you know, a few moments of spells with the ball now, just as you said, to get that confidence back and just settle into the game, find their rhythm.
Haspo. And the flick on from Bredgaard was intended for Brunn. Green being chased by Brunn. Olivia Clark calmly away. Does well to find Rowe. Lily Woodham leading the chase. Well, Denmark, 2 times quarter-finalists at World Cups. I've had a few semi-finals at the Euros as well. Back in 2013 in Sweden was the last occasion.
Yeah, and it's harder. That was, you know, their main person when they got to the final 2017 as well.
Cull to Bredgaard. Pretty straightforward for Clark in the end, but there was room for Bredgaard of Fiorentina.
Yeah, and I think it'd just be worrying signs for Wales just how easily Denmark are able to play through and to create half chances like that. I should be disappointed with that. You know, it's an easy height. Obviously, there's straight at Olivia Clark, easy save for her to make, but you wanted to keep the ball on the floor there where you can.
Now this is concerning. Well, Hannah Kane has gone down here. Holding that left ankle.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's not an Achilles injury, because if it's an Achilles injury, it tends to take quite a long time for recovery.
Well, Hannah Kane has had, over the years, rotten luck with injuries.
Yeah, I feel like I might have just given her the commentator's curse, just talking about hopefully that she'll be having a clean bill of health and a good run.
And this is the situation that we find ourselves in, Gwenan, when we talk about injuries ahead of such an historic summer ahead.
And this is the importance, though, of giving other players their opportunities and developing, you know, that depth. You know, we talked about maybe the differences that the experienced members had when they came on the pitch against Sweden, but for me, the players starting really have to have the opportunity to be able to play at that intensity and have that exposure. 5 minutes here and there isn't good enough, so to have that from a starting point of view will develop them in the long run.
We're just trying to read the situation from Hannah Kane's face. Hopefully not too serious. And even if it isn't, I don't think Rhian Wilkinson is in the position to take major risks with some of her key players. And a clear discussion between manager and player. And I think she'll be okay, Gwenan.
Yeah, that looks positive, doesn't it? Maybe we just thought the worst at the start, given her history, unfortunately.
And Kane is back onto the field, I'm happy to say. Woodham stepping forward to try and deny Brett Guard. Via. The attack is on again. Harders through. Clark read it. It was a heavy hit pass anyway.
Yeah, you can see Harder just pulling on the shoulder of Josie Green, but as you said, Olivia Clark, good positioning, good awareness to be able to read the situation well.
Clark spotting the returning Hannah Kane. Via. Cole. Holmgaard. Rachel Rowe wins possession and starts an attacking move. Morgan. Here's Lily Woodham. Kane. Over the head, and Via with a clearance. Still there for Ladd. Well, that was the first real scare that Wales have given the Danish defence. And that came through Rachel Rowe. Feel Morgan tracking back, and Denmark looking to turn defence into attack. Harder. Holmgaard. If Harder looks up, she can switch the play. That's what she's done. Torgersen. I suppose that's what Wales have got to do, try and hit Denmark on the counter-attack.
Yeah, and just need to be a bit better then. You know, in possession, be tidier. In possession, we tend to waste those opportunities just with a missed pass or the wrong decision. I personally would have actually liked to have seen, you know, the combination. You see Rowe trying to link up and play off Fionn Morgan. Yes, sometimes you could say he's forcing it, but just having the confidence to be on the half turn. Actually, Fionn Morgan could have given it back or half turned herself.
Strong header from Roberts. Kane. There's room to cross. Morgan. Ladd was going into the penalty area. And hasty defending from Denmark in the end, and no nonsense stuff from Torgersen.
No, but that was so much better, and that's what I was talking about. Hannah Kane actually being on the half turn and facing forward and driving at the goal, instead of sometimes just being, oh, maybe a bit more cautious, and we'll try and keep possession. And when you're in those areas, as I said, there's nothing that defenders dislike more than a player running at them.
Ball through the middle. And Clark has to be alert here. Oh, good save from Clark. Fingertip save from Bredgard.
Yeah, it was a good save. I think it was a good height. But again, look how they're in those pockets. They're just playing off the defenders. Someone needs to take responsibility, get tighter for me. And you'd expect, if I'm honest, Olivia Clark to be making those saves, possibly going over. She couldn't take the chance in it, of course.
Olivia Clark has already been forced into action on a few occasions. And was mightily close to stopping that goal earlier on from Brunn. And Bredgard, who had that chance, now has the corner. Short delivery, Cole towards that back post. Fia Morgan just about gets it to Rachel Rowe. Now, if Rachel Rowe could keep it in play here, the attack would be on. And Via was always in front of her. Brings that enthusiasm to Wales's attack and does make things happen. Rachel Rowe. Cole. Well, let's get the thoughts of Nia Jones, former Wales defender, part of our team tonight. And yes, Nia, Denmark have the lead, but at least it's a slender lead at the moment.
It is, and I think Wales can count themselves lucky that it's only one at the moment. It's a pretty timid start from the home side. I just think that they're being really overrun in the centre of midfield for all the work that they're doing in there. Ladd and James, just the movement, especially of Pernilla Harder. I know we identified her before kick-off, but just have a look at her. She's so difficult to pick up. Is it a job for the midfield? Is it a job for the back three? And it's the fluid movement and interchange of those forward players, her included, Bredgard, and the goal scorer Brun as well, is causing all sorts of problems for Wales.
Thank you, Nia. Yeah, it's just 1-0. That's the positive at the moment, but you can't keep your eyes off this Danish side. The way that they can attack and quickly turn defence into attack in the blink of an eye. Evans' header. Brought down by Woodham. Again looking for the run of Fionn Morgan. I do feel if Wales are going to attack, it's those two down the left that are probably the most effective.
Yeah, look, when you're playing up against a side that, especially if Denmark do lose possession, on that transition then, down the sides is where the space is, because they've got three central defenders. Obviously the pace of Hannah Kane, but Fionn Morgan as well. We need to exploit those areas better. The quality on the passes to be better.
Holland gives away the free kick. They're not happy with the decision. We identified her performance against Sweden, Kerry Holland. Was probably one of the more outstanding Welsh players in those opening Nations League games. Almost scored a wonderful individual goal late on against Sweden.
Oh, that would have been a cracker as well. She looked really lively, didn't she? And again, fearless in attacking positions. She's been asked to do a different role this evening, one that she's played before for Wales, and she's got such an engine on it. That's one of the big requirements if you're playing a wing-back position.
Torgerson, first time cross. It was an awkward one to take on, and that was why it was overhit. It came from Brunn's header.
We were just lucky, really, in a way, that the cross wasn't of a better standard, because you could see him queuing up at the back post.
Former Kansas City player, Torgerson, currently of Roma in Italy. And here is Kerry Holland. It's given straight back to Denmark and to Hasbo. Rachel Rowe again stepping forward. James. Oh, they've given it away to Brunn. Harder. Holmgaard. Corner. Well, Wales almost punished for sloppy passing at the back.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems as well, we're being pinned back so much that we haven't got an out ball. You can see just even how deep Fionn Morgan was, and everybody was in the defensive third. It's just relentless at the minute from Denmark, being able to just maintain waves of attacks.
there are similarities to that Sweden game in Wrexham in that we saw relentless periods of possession from the Swedes, but didn't add to that one-goal scoreline, and that allowed Wales to get back in the game. Certainly hope that would be the similar outcome tonight. Cross from Bredgard is a decent one. Oh, it's hit the post! Well, it was Trollsgaard with a glancing header, and Olivia Clark knew very little of it.
Yeah, it was just, well, no, she wasn't. Josie Green keeping her on side. I wasn't sure if she was maybe just crept offside.
Brun, Clark opts to punch it away. Cole! Denmark are getting close to a second goal.
Well, they really should have taken that chance, if I'm honest. Olivia Clark comes out. Could she have maybe taken that? Maybe she wasn't sure. You could just see Cool just leaning over. Just need to keep her head over the ball in that position.
Although we see Andre Jelgerts, the Danish head coach, I think he, by his expression there, feels that his side should be at least 2 up here. Bolsinger. Via. Anna Kane chasing it all the way back to the goalkeeper and almost rewarded for her efforts. Ladd. And we would call the high press, the intensity from Denmark when out of possession is pretty relentless as well. See, Olivia Clark had 2 players to contend with there.
I'm loving all the terminology, Simon. You obviously must have read that BBC article with Chris Sutton about the terminology. Is it just bringing the old school terminology back around in it with a different term, basically?
I just get my education sitting next to the likes of you and Nia Jones. Well, the important stat is that it's just 1-0. Can Kerry Holland change that? Took her time. Kane would have to have been spectacular.
It would, but I love that. You know, as a forward player, maybe having to work off crumbs at the minute, when she just sees a sight on goal and that's sitting up lovely for her, why not pull the trigger? Okay, yeah, accuracy not there. But if you don't shoot, you don't score, and I'm a big believer in that. You know, Wales haven't had any opportunities on target in this opening 30 minutes. So when it's sat up for you as a forward player, you're going to pull the trigger.
And it's good to know that that potential ankle problem has proved not to be a problem so far in this first half for Hannah Kane. Wales have a throw. And it's Woodham. Rowe had made the run. There's not too many options here, but Woodham does go for Rowe. Ladd does well to win it back. Woodham. Gemma Evans. Roberts. Thea Morgan had made the run, the ball just behind her. Down the other end, it's a chance for Brun. Green back to Clark. Well, it's still not away for Wales. It's risky stuff, and if they're not careful, Denmark are going to get it back. Josie Green in the end opts for the no-nonsense approach.
Oh, I was nearly watching behind my hands there. I was kind of a little bit scared.
It all came from that Clark pass, and initially Denmark sensed danger.
Well, it all came because we couldn't hold the ball up again. Up front, just maybe a miscommunication between players coming to feet or running in behind. And there needs to be a mixture of that at times as well. Can players, you know, come to feet instead of running into the space? Fia Morgan, maybe, yes, we know her strength is to run behind, but she needs to be able to mix it up and hold the ball up as well. Be able to just give Wales a platform to play off.
Holland. Tackle from Hasbo. Now it can open up for Wales here with Gemma Evans and Woodham to her left, up against Torgerson. Green. Ladd calmly to Rhiannon Roberts. Kane adopting a wide position here. Morgan. Holland. Ball into Rowe. Woodham. Good block. Torgerson.
Much better from Wales. And as I was talking about them, Fionn Morgan coming deep this time and just interchanging that pass into Kerry Holland. He did a few runners across the front, but it fell to Lily Woodham at the back. And we've seen her pull the trigger from there, haven't we? In this stadium, big goals.
Probably Wales' best move of the match so far. And Lily Woodham has already scored 3 goals in her Wales career. So close to a 4th. But it's a corner. Roberts goes for it. Green is on that back post. Header from Ladd. Could go back to Kerry Holland. The top of your screen on that Wales left. Holland battling for it. Has Kane in support. A collision with Kane. James. Roberts. Towards Kane. Holland. Flag has stayed down. Kerry Holland! Wales are back in it. Wales were persistent, and persistence has paid off for Kerry Holland.
Well, it's similar to the other 2 games, and we've rode our luck on occasions, but Kerry Holland making something out of absolutely nothing here. She shapes to shoot, tucks back in, and then she just fires it again. There's a slight deflection there. That's been both teams getting a little bit of luck. But she made that for herself. And it's been a far better last couple of minutes, hasn't it? Period for Wales.
Well, it came after a tremendous attacking move of which Holland was involved, and Wilkinson leading the applause for Wales's equaliser.
Well, you mentioned before as well, she's been so close to scoring in that Sweden game. A couple of really mazy runs. And she actually sparked probably the little good period that we've had with a real drive and run down the right-hand side about 5 minutes ago.
And Denmark have not taken their chances, and sometimes you get punished for that. And if Wales can keep it like this until the break, Gwenan, I think Rhian Wilkinson will be a very happy woman.
Yeah, she will, definitely on the way the play has gone, especially the first 30 minutes.
Harder up against Roberts. Opts for Cole, one of those players who missed earlier chances. Trollsgaard with a misplaced pass, and Wales now with a bit of confidence going forward. Lily Woodham has Morgan in support. Fionn Morgan. Wales looking to take the lead here. Holland was waiting for it. It is a corner. And how things can change in international football.
Oh, superb play from Lily Woodham from one end of the box to the other. I was just looking, maybe could Fionn Morgan have used her left foot there, and then when she's looking back, probably Rachel Rowe just changed the angle on the cross if she decides to cut back and change the angle. However, Wales have a corner.
It's been an excellent spell the last few minutes. Never mind the goal, the attacking intention is clear to see. And Wales looking to take the lead with this corner. Lily Woodham. Not a bad delivery either. Evans had made the run to the near post. Back out to Woodham. Oh, great skill. Kane. Kane! Well, that would have been a fine second goal for Wales and for Hannah Kane.
Oh, well, firstly, the delivery from Woodham, outstanding, and then a great little piece of skill just to create the space as we see here. Brave then to go in for the header. And she didn't think about it, did she? Hannah Kane, instinctive. I'm liking the fact as well, she's confident enough to be using both feet. I mean, you would expect them at this level to be, but a lot of players maybe prefer to try and check back on their stronger foot.
And how about the composure from Woodham? He's really matured in the last year or two as a Wales international. Has, with the exception of that game against Sweden in Wrexham, pretty much made that left-back position her own.
Yeah, most certainly. I think the fact that, you know, she's moved to America, but then actually wasn't playing as many minutes as she wanted, so she's on loan, back playing regularly in the WSL, especially with the summer ahead in her mind with Crystal Palace. Just getting those minutes, getting that time in. And as with anything, you know, age with experience comes then.
Holland. Trying to find Fionn Morgan. Well, Kerry Holland, yes, it took a deflection, but you've got to hit the target first, and she created the chance for herself and was rewarded for it. And you know, as a striker, Gwenan, you've got to hit the target.
Yeah, exactly. And making that little opportunity for yourself as well, backing yourself maybe in those 1v1 situations. You could just see the way she feigned to shoot and then cut back onto her stronger foot. We know the power she's got in that right foot as well. Yes, it took a deflection, but it was on target in the first place.
Evans. Green. Crystal Palace. Roberts. Rowe. And Wales looking to finish this half strongly here. And I think had Denmark taken one of those chances, maybe it would have been a different story, but 1-1, Wales are growing into this game. Hannah Kane straight to the goalkeeper, though, to Ostergaard.
Yeah, you could see the intent there. She got her head up and she was just looking for that crossfield pass to Kerry Holland, but good to see actually our Wales' forward players, the wider of the three, so Rachel Rowe, Hannah Kane, even though they're all interchanging, just dropping into those little pockets of space, similar to how Harder and Bredgaard have been doing for Denmark.
Via in towards Harder. Bredgaard. Holmgaard. He's cut in field. An excellent run. Trollsgaard. He's got Torgerson to her right. Torgerson's cross, not the best. And then Harry James plays it to Hannah Kane. And on that occasion, expected the run, I think, from Fionn Morgan. But with around 5 minutes to go plus added time, Wales very much in this Nations League tie. They just need to stop attacks like this, and that's what Gemma Evans does.
Yeah, she's been very good in the first half, Gemma Evans, just reading the play, anticipating.
Excellent pass to Holland. Rowe. Here's Hayley Ladd. Morgan. Just beaten to it by Bolsinger. And Via has given it straight to James. Unfortunately for Wales, Cole was in the way of a pass to Morgan. Well, Denmark have been rattled in the last few minutes, I would suggest. Here's Rachel Rowe. Now, she is capable, believe it or not, from that sort of range. But Wales have improved as the half has gone on. Yeah,
and again, you know, you don't mind your forward players pulling the trigger in those areas. If I think maybe Hannah Kane, Fionn Morgan were a little bit higher, then you're looking to slip the ball through. But just playing in those little pockets, as I said, similar to how Denmark have been playing, just been causing that Danish defence a few problems in the last couple of minutes.
Kerry Holland just on the receiving end, I think, of a flailing arm, and yeah, just holding her face. I don't think there was any intent there.
No, I don't think there was any intent myself. It wasn't as if it was an elbow. However, the rules are rules at this point. You know, when your arm is raised, you run the risk.
Jess Fishlock. I think the indication from Rhian Wilkinson is she's looking to manage her hours. Fishlock, of course, will always be there when Wales need it, but just need to manage her minutes, perhaps, approaching the Euros in Switzerland?
Yeah, of course. I think, you know, that's common sense when you've got a player that's, you know, only at the start of his season, let's not forget, you know, the American League, the NWSL, is only into it's the third week now of fixtures. She had those injuries over the period of the Republic of Ireland she played through. She had to come off, which says a lot because she wouldn't be coming off any game unless she had to. So it's just about managing that load now, because she's still coming back and returning from that, even though they've started their season.
Rhian Wilkinson barking orders. One of the true greats of Welsh football, Neville Southall. And in his pomp, he was one of the best goalkeepers in the world, no doubt about that. And a supporter of the Wales women's team, as well as the men's. Noel Mooney, the Chief Executive of the Football Association of Wales, as well.
Yeah, and speaking of support, Simon, the girls under-19s team actually are in the middle of their round 2 qualification for the Euro finals in Poland this summer. Had a really narrow defeat to France on Wednesday. Have a 1-goal-0, a hugely impressive performance by the under-19s, and they're actually playing the Republic of Ireland tomorrow in Steban Heath Park in Llanelli. If anybody is close by, it's meant to be a nice day. I'm sure the girls will appreciate every support. Some outstanding performances, namely from Mairead Griffith, who obviously made her debut in the last camp.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a lovely weekend for football. I'm no Derek Brockway, so I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, go and support the under-19s, I would. Kerry Holland back on the field, by the way, after temporarily leaving it. Here's Holmgaard. Via, an Arsenal and Everton player. Won back by initially Hayley Ladd, and Hannah Kane is fouled. But there is a spirit about this Wales team under Rhian Wilkinson. You feel that, you know, much like against Sweden, even after conceding such an early goal, heads do not go down.
I think there's a real growing belief. I think we've seen that over the last year, especially following on from the result in Ireland and making history and getting over that barrier that's taken so many years to be able to qualify for a major tournament. But it's also about being a little bit more clinical, being a little bit more ruthless, and maybe not giving away so many chances, because we have been quite lucky at times, obviously this evening, but in the campaign in general, that teams have been wasteful. I think back to that Sweden game, the game could have been out of sight. The same with this game, so it's just about being a little bit tighter, but learning from those experiences, and I think that they are doing that.
Ball with Clark. And we are awaiting that added time board. 4 minutes. There have been a few stoppages for injuries. Hannah Kane and indeed Kerry Holland. Maybe time for Wales to get a second goal here. Morgan. Holland. Well, the ball came into her with pace. And Denmark looking to respond. Harder. Brun waiting in the middle. Harder looking to go it alone. Still there for Bredgard. Danger not away for Wales. That's a good cross. Aspo. Rowe tried to deny her. Harder. Cole. Brun. Harder again. Wales have to get hold of this ball, and they do through Woodham. And they were all queuing up for Denmark.
Yeah, they were. Felt like they were trying to walk it into the goal as well. But again, some bodies being put on the line. Rhiannon Roberts this time, closing out quickly, blocking the shot.
James, no foul against Bredgard. Back to Clark. We just saw in front of Clark there, Josie Green stopping the run of Brun, showing good anticipation, a bit of experience there from Josie Green, who's on the ball now.
Yeah, I think those things are important as well, those little dark arts just off the ball, especially as a defender. Can you just maybe disrupt the run of forward players, getting their heads as well? I used to get really frustrated, if I'm honest, when players used to do, especially defenders used to do things off the ball like that. But it's an important part of the game.
Ostergaard to Bolsinger. Via. Did have a brief spell in Seattle, Via, which has been the destination for so many Welsh players over the years, including Harry James. Who is wearing that captain's armband with great pride. I think was one of the clear candidates, one of the obvious candidates really, when the armband was relinquished. Morgan trying to win the ball back. Brun trying to feed harder. And it's Via. Your thoughts on this first half performance, Gwenan?
Well, a tale of two halves in a half, really. I think the first half Wales really struggled, maybe over-respected, gave far too much space, couldn't deal with the movements of the forward players. However, just as we've said, just stayed in the tie. We said that in the last game against Sweden as well, stayed in it and have grown in confidence, and then have taken one of the limited chances in a way, and that's a really important sign.
Torgerson fell awkwardly there, tried to get the better of Lily Woodham. Had to really be at full stretch to get that cross in, which she couldn't keep in play. And back on her feet. Goal kick Wales to see out this first half from Olivia Clark. Into the second half as well. Torgerson. Josie Green. Spotted the run of Morgan. Away by Trollsgaard. And it's half-time. Well, it started in the worst possible fashion for Wales. Denmark took an early lead through Brun. The likes of Harder, a danger throughout, but Wales, to their credit, fought back, and Kerry Holland made the opportunity for herself. At a half-time, she has made it Wales 1, Denmark 1.
Well, Wales were living off crumbs for most of that first half. Denmark took an early lead. They were relentless, but never say never with this Wales side. Kerry Holland with the equaliser. They have grown into this game, and at half-time it is game on, 1 apiece. So let's have a little look then at the stats. Denmark, as you imagine, have dominated possession. They have had 10 shots on goal, 3 of them on target. Wales have only had 5 shots, 1 on target. So Olivia Clark has been very busy in that goal, but it's the scoreline that's important, of course. It is, as I said, 1 apiece, nothing to separate them. And interesting hearing Gwenan Harris there in commentary saying it was a tale of 2 halves in 1 half. Poetry there from Gwenan, but she's right, isn't she, Nia?
She is. More maths for us, Kat, to get our heads around. It's true, and we've seen this with this Wales side before. It's almost like when they survive being under the cosh for little periods of the game, they seem to actually wake up, and then the actual reaction from that, they had a real period where they had actually pinned their opponents back. So, and that's what is more exciting actually is that they capitalised on it, Wales. So yeah, they just need to get out of the habit of actually starting poorly, because we've seen it on a couple of occasions now.
Yeah, because for the first half hour, let's face it, Denmark were relentless, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. They were just coming down our throats constantly, and again, I think when we concede, we then kind of change our mindset of we need to, start now. We need to start the game, and it's kind of too late. We can't gift these teams like Denmark goals like that.
Yeah, and we didn't have to wait long, did we? It was the 7th minute of the game, Brun. Now then, are we giving them too much space there? Is that what Wales are doing in that defence?
Yeah, you can nitpick and look at tactical things. Rachel Rowe goes in, slightly wrong side, she gets beat on the press, then there's a little overload, and it's the fullback that's got a decision to make. And look at Pernilla Harder, we identified her before kick-off, but her movement, she just drifts away, and you could argue that it's a fluke that she gets a little deflection. But listen, she's got 77 goals for her country. Brun, I think that's her 24th in her 50th cap. Those little subtle movements aren't flukes at this level. They're just first to the ball, but it actually comes from Wales not quite getting their distances right on their press, 60 metres from goal.
How difficult is it when you've worked on a system all week and then that happens so quickly into a game? You are chasing it, you have to compose yourselves, but it's got to be tough.
Yeah, it's tough because people like Pernille Harder, they're clever. They're waiting for that moment where we just switch off a little bit, and she plays off the back of Hayley Ladd's shoulder there, and Hayley goes over to try and help Rhiannon Roberts, but on the back shoulder then is Pernille, so she can just get a touch straight into Brune, and these top players are going to score those goals, but we have to try and nullify that to start with.
As you say, they are top players and they had so many opportunities in that first 30 minutes or so. They were ruthless, they were relentless. We were thinking, when is the second one going in?
Yeah, exactly. They were under the cosh here, Wales, weren't they? And exactly like Ingle said, it's not actually your traditional forward players that were getting in behind, much like this occasion. It was the runners from midfield, much like Pernille Harder and Bredgaard, who were such a threat, so difficult to pick up. We said in the build-up, actually, because we've got three centre-backs, one of them can afford to step out when you've got a back three because you know you've got cover, but it looks at the minute like they're looking at each other to take responsibility for that, and yeah, it's difficult. Do the midfielders drop on them and chase them? Do the defenders step out and pick them up? I think they'll really need to tidy that up at half-time, Rhian Wilkinson.
What is it like as a player when you're on that pitch and it's just wave after wave coming at you?
That's where I think we just need someone just to maybe go down and pretend they're hurt, or, you know, when we get a throw in, take your time and just try and resettle the group, because when it's wave after wave after wave, it's tough because you're trying to organise but they're coming at you. So you just need to kind of take the sting out the game as much as you can and try and regroup. Or if someone is down, just get together, you know, whether it's backline, midfield, and just, you know, give 1 or 2 pointers.
What I will say, towards the end of that half, we saw it. Although they're very high in the Welsh box, the Welsh players were much closer to them. They couldn't get a shot off, they couldn't get the passes off that they wanted to. Their distances of closing down and pressing was much more aggressive, which is what they need to be from the very off in the second half.
Interesting to hear you say that they probably needed somebody to go down. We did see Hannah Kane going down. We were concerned because she has been so unlucky with injuries, but thankfully back on. And actually at that point things did seem to change. Now then, Kerry Holland, she makes this goal out of nothing. She finishes it off very well indeed.
She does. This is the build-up to it. She who's actually had a hand in winning the corner, gave in a brilliant cross to Lily Woodham, who had a shot off for it. But just look at her tenacity here to come in, win it back, just never giving up on anything. It seems like a thankless task, but she's also got the presence of mind to actually bring somebody else in with the calmness. It's a little bit scrambling here. They're trying to look for options. It's a little bit one-dimensional for Wales, but this ball that comes in from Rhiannon Roberts, she is just anticipating it. This bit of skill here, the drop of the shoulder, the little touch and the blasted finish, that for me is why Wales could really do with her higher up the pitch. If she wasn't up for the corner that she won, she would never have been in that position to score that goal. She's playing at right wing back tonight, and it's an area that we know Wilkinson's had to toy around with. We've seen Charlie Escott there, we've seen Rhiannon Roberts there, I think we've even seen Fionn Morgan there. Nobody's quite nailed down that position, but that is a reason I think Kerry Holland needs to be up and amongst it in the attacking part of the pitch.
Where do you want to see her? Yeah,
I think that what is most positive about that clip is that we keep the ball alive.
Yeah.
We have numbers high up, we're secure around the edge of the box, and Harrod and Haley are, you know, securing it for us to win it back, to then get it back out wide, and luckily we do that and manage to get it to Rhiannon.
Don't deflect. Where do you want to see Kerry Holland play?
I want her as high as possible. You know, I think sometimes when we play a back five, she can get dragged lower, and that doesn't really suit her. We don't want to defend in our own box. We want her high and getting at the opposition. It all depends on formation, but if we play a back four, she has to be the out-and-out winger.
It's a compliment. She is so talented and so versatile. I can understand why she's had the call up there.
We are hearing that Fionn Morgan is going off at half-time and that Carrie Jones is coming on. Are we liking that change?
Yeah, I think it's possibly a switch for Hannah Kane, maybe going down the middle as a traditional number 9 and seeing Carrie Jones come into that number 10 position. I think at times I've really wanted Wales with the ball at their feet to just be more direct and run towards that Danish back line. They've actually been a little bit tentative and looked to turn back and bring others into play. Carrie Jones won't need a second invitation to do that, which I think will just put them on the back foot a little bit, give us time to get players up the pitch for support.
So there we are. We know about one change that we are going to see very soon. I wonder, are we going to see Manchester City's Maisie Davis in the second half? She had her first international start against Sweden up in Wrexham a couple of months ago, and she is one of these very exciting youngsters in this Welsh squad. So we caught up with the 18-year-old. She had a little sit down with Alex.
Maisie, it's lovely to see you. Nice to be back on camp. Yeah, really nice. Back with the girls, obviously. They really welcomed me in, and I think that's played a big part in how I can just be myself on or off the pitch. So I come into the environment April last year, and I think if I compare myself to then and now, I've really come out of my shell, and I'm just thinking, just being myself.
You mentioned that moment last year. How special was it for you making your debut against Kosovo?
What a moment for Maisie Davis.
Oh yeah, no, that was amazing as well. I've actually got a tattoo with it on my
I was going to ask you about the tattoo.
The date was always planned, but the sheep with it, I don't know where that come from.
Did you just decide on the day, I'm going to get a sheep?
On the day I went, I need something to go with it, and my mum suggested something nice, like a daffodil or something, and I went, I'm going to get a sheep.
It's a nice reminder as well, your first camp.
It's a really nice reminder.
In your last camp then, you got your first full 90 minutes and player of the match performance.
Yeah.
How nice is it for you getting praise from Rhian? Because I mean, she came out after that match and said that she thinks you're a player that could reach 100 caps or more.
It's nice to know that she thinks I can get to that stage in my career, but she has given me opportunities that I never thought I'd get to at this stage and with my age, so I'm just grateful.
And who else has been quite influential in your life? Because I know your dad is a former footballer. He's played in the Cymru Premier.
Yeah, he likes to take a lot of the praise.
Does he analyse your performances?
Oh yeah.
Does it annoy you?
Yeah, it does annoy me, but I listen to him because at the end of the day he does want the best for me, and I do appreciate everything he's done for me.
What did he say to you after that game in Italy?
Straight away I was on to negatives, and he was like, you need to sit back and realise what you've actually done, you've grew up and this has been one of your dreams and you've just done it. And obviously the player of the match topped it off, and he was just enjoy the moment, and he just obviously let me know how proud he was of me. How
important are these games then, this Nations League campaign, for that preparation for the Euros in the summer?
Oh yeah, it's really important, obviously. Even though it's serious, it's we're enjoying the process as well. We've made history, it's an exciting time for Wales, so yeah, we're just looking forward to the Euros now.
And would you get another tattoo if you got there?
Probably.
Yeah?
Yeah, probably would. I might get the daffodil this time with the date.
Yeah, are we going to see Maisie Davis in the second half? We are definitely going to see Carrie Jones. She is coming on very, very soon in this second half. But let's talk about Maisie Davis. Loving the sheep tattoo, yes?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Anybody
it matches
else?
yours that you've got on your back.
Not now. Have you got a tattoo at all?
Not a sheep one.
No, we need to get one when we go on tour together. Let's talk about Maisie Davis then. She's played for Wales under-17, Wales under-19s. She was called into the Wales squad in 2024, so last year. She had to wait a year for her first international start. How much have you seen her develop, Sophie, in that 12 months?
Yeah, she's such a talented youngster, and I think credit to her because she's not playing at club right now, and that performance last time when she got a debut is phenomenal at this level. To be able to come into the senior team and give a performance like that when you're not getting regular minutes at your club is a credit to her because all the hard work she's been putting in.
So with that in mind, what is the next move for her? She's 18 years old, she's with Manchester City, she's not starting. So where would you like to see her go to progress for Wales and for herself?
Yeah, this is the hard thing because she's training at a quality club. She'll be training alongside very, very good players every single day, which is developing her. But also at that age, she probably needs to try and get some game time, whether she goes on loan. You know, it kind of doesn't really matter where, but just to try and get that game time to, be match fit ready for potentially the Euros.
I'm going to throw you under the bus a little bit, but as we're talking about her, I remember coming away from that game and saying to Ingle, wow, she's so talented to play in the back line and look so calm. You told me that you had a little word with her after the game. Do you remember that exchange?
Go on.
Yeah, I do. There was one point where she didn't track back. Was it that one you're on about?
Was there another one?
She was blowing blessed towards the end. I think it was about 80th minute, and she got turned on the halfway line, and it looked like she was walking back, to be honest. And I said, you can't do that at senior level. You have to sprint back, whatever, whether you're tired, whatever, you have to just.
But she said it in such a jovial way that actually that is exactly why. Yes, it's so important to have youngsters like that coming through, but it's so important to have leaders in the group like that who...
She won't forget that, will she?
No, and it was, around an arm around the shoulder, well played, but also, don't forget,
I'm never going to argue with Sophie again.
Go.
Never arguing with you again. She might be around in 10 years' time, 2035. We've heard a lot about that year this week because we hear that there's only one valid bid for the World Cup, a joint bid between England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Now, Jess Fishlock tweeted she's got another 10 years in her. She wants to be in a home World Cup. This is exciting news, Sophie.
Yeah, it's amazing. But I'm not sure Jess will be around in 10 years' time to.
It wouldn't surprise me,
play.
honestly.
Maybe she could play centre back. You know, you run a little less.
Like it's easy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a bit easier than midfield or the 10 role that she plays. But I'm sure she'll be involved in whatever way. But yeah, it's amazing if it's going to happen. And you know, imagine bringing the World Cup here to Wales and to show off what a great country we are.
And when we talk about the growth of the game, this is just what you want, isn't it? A home World Cup where the eyes of the world will be on Wales, England, Northern Ireland and Scotland, and all these youngsters will want to play, will want to watch their heroes.
Well, absolutely. It's one thing hosting it and how exciting that is to go along and watch, but I tell you what, we don't want to host a World Cup and not have a team to get behind and support it. So if ever they needed an incentive to keep qualifying for those major tournaments, you talk about Carrie Jones coming on, you talk about Maisie Davis on the bench, those players should be setting their sights hot on that.
Back to this evening then, 1-1. They are very much back in this game. What do you want to see more of in the second half?
I think when we have the ball, just a bit more direct. I think sometimes we're too nice. We win the ball back and we go all the way back to our back line. I think we have to be ruthless at this level. That's the only way we're going to create more goals.
We just saw Fionn Morgan not looking happy. Jess Fishlock having a word, devastated to have left the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, she hasn't had the best of service in that first half. She'll be frustrated because all of them are itching to be on the pitch. She'll be frustrated with how Wales have been in possession. But what I will say is whoever is in those forward positions for Wales, you can't always just be running in behind having shots on goal. There's an element at this level of you've got to put your body on the line, you've got to hold it up and you've got to be able to bring other people into play. That's not really her game. She'll be starved of service, she has been, but I think we can't be surprised by the changes Wilkinson's made either. She very often makes changes at half-time, and in the last match, they paid off.
What we know about this Wales side is that they have plenty of character. They're going to have to show it in this second half.
Yeah, definitely. I think it shows with us, getting back in the game and getting the goal that we deserved. But again, we have to start strong, like Nia said, because otherwise they'll be coming at us and they'll be creating a lot of chances.
A fascinating second half in prospect. Let's go back to our commentary team, Gwenan and Simon.
Thank you, Catherine. And we saw the changes there. And for Denmark, the goal scorer Brun making way for Sophie Svava of Lyon. This her 57th cap. Clearly, the Danish coach Andre Jelgerts feels that a change is needed in attack, or certainly in the forward positions.
Yeah, she's not a bad replacement to bring on, is she, Simon? A big opportunity.
And it's actually Katrin Veijer, so yeah, my mistake. It's not actually Brun who's been replaced, and it is Veijer off. So, but certainly Svava playing for Lyon, one of the top clubs in European football. So that is the change for Denmark, and as Katrin was saying, the change for Wales, Gwenan, sees Carrie Jones enter the fray.
Yeah, I think it's a big opportunity for her again. Carrie Jones needs to be nice and tidy in possession in the build-up play. Capture again those areas to be productive.
There is Brun very much on the field, playing to Harder. Wales don't want to concede another early goal like they did in the first half, and Josie Green improvising a bit to clear the ball away. Ball from Harder, there's a push, is there? Well, there was a coming together inside that penalty area. The referee had a good look at it. It was Brun who went down after the challenge from Holland, but the referee didn't indicate anything untoward. Certainly no appeals from the other Danish players apart from Brun.
No, and I think that's normally the telltale sign. It's just a coming together for me.
Woodham. Good play between her and Hannah Kane. Played by Torgerson. Torgerson, one of the players who came close in that first half to adding to Denmark's goal tally. Holland to Rowe. Ladd picks up the loose ball. Brings Evans into play. Oh, the pass to Woodham didn't work out. And can Denmark take advantage? Bredgaard. Oh, Gemma Evans. Uncharacteristic, that, of her.
Yeah, and it's those unforced errors that they need to just try and eradicate from their game. You just see Wales in the same shape, just a like-for-like change between Ffion Morgan and Carrie Jones. Denmark, however, look to be opting for a 4-4-2 now in the second half.
Brun. De Harden is Zvava. The step over. It's a nice ball. Woodham did well. Brun's header. And Roberts, well, took the ball on her chest and then delivered the clearance, and it's another header away. But already in this second half, Denmark putting Wales under pressure, and Roberts with the clearance again. Rowe. I think Denmark will be frustrated how that first half ended. Bredgaard played it to Torgerson. Brun's header. Harder was in there too. Well, it went over the head of Brun, and it was Harder who put it wide. Yeah. But it has gone out for a corner, Gwenan.
Brun just missed times. You just see her peeling off. She peeled off to Rhiannon Roberts, then made the movement late. Any sign of a good forward player with contrasting movements in the box. But I think she actually maybe just impeded the sight then for Harder.
Bredgaard's ball is not a bad one. Clark did well in a crowded penalty area. Carrie Jones taking advantage of Kerry Holland's tackle. Rowe. It's a first-time cross. Kane waiting in the middle. Was the only option really for Wales with that early cross.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit optimistic trying to reach it so early. But as you said, you know, just not enough numbers there up in support. Maybe just needed on this occasion, even though she was so wide, to just hold the play, just delay it, pause it a little bit.
Woodham bringing Kane into play. Nice pass from Ladd to James. Ladd goes to ground, no foul by Trollsgaard, and Harder is away. Roberts sticking with her player. And Kerry Holland tracked back too. Torgerson. Cole. Bredgaard. Oh, and Harder had made that run, and it was a vital header from Rhiannon Roberts. Holland. And a lot expected of Hannah Kane here. Well, I think Kane put the pressure, which almost forced the error.
Yeah, just the confidence and the accuracy to play out. If you're going to be playing out, you have to be able to have the accuracy.
Ball over the top for Harder to chase. Excellent header, Josie Green. Ladd. Oh, brilliant. Composure personified, Hayley Ladd. Here's Woodham. Well, Wales have really settled into this game. Denmark are a danger, there's no doubt about that, but Wales seem to be relishing mixing it with the big guns of European football. Well, it seems to be anyway, Gwenan. Back in this Nations League Group A.
Yeah, and I think again, we talked about growing in confidence, staying in the game, being able to actually score. It took us a long time, it took Wales a long time to be able to actually net a goal against some of the bigger nations. But since they have, You could just see, shoulders just back a little bit taller. And that belief within games, can they go and pinch a goal, can they go and pinch a winner, is there now as it didn't used to be.
Quickly taken throw. Ball in towards Zvava. It was a decent first touch, but Holland grabs hold of it and plays it up towards Rachel Rowe. Here's Cole. Pretty end-to-end this second half so far. Torgerson. Bredgard. Back to Torgerson. And Gemma Evans there again. Gemma Evans, you mentioned an ever-present in the Wilkinson era so far. This her 74th cap tonight.
Yeah, herself, Hayley Ladd, played in every minute of the 12 games that Wilkinson has been in charge. This being the 13th.
And it's that sort of experience that's invaluable. You throw the likes of Sophie Ingle into the mix, as we hope Wales will do in Switzerland, fitness permitting. We've got some team. Here's Harder. Looking for Bruno. Had positioned herself for the volley.
Yeah, Harder, she just glides, doesn't she? Just see the way, and you never know which way she's going. She's so adept with both feet. And as you said, Brian was lining up the spectacular there for sure, if it wasn't for the intervention of Hayley Ladd.
I have no doubt if Hayley Ladd had not got there, that bicycle kick would have connected. And Kerry Holland has been in the thick of all the 50-50 battles so far in this second half. Well, this is a Danish side who will be going to the Euros. They'll actually be in the same group as Sweden, Wales' next opponents, as well as Germany and Poland in games in Geneva, Basel and Lucerne. Evans.
Yeah, I think we all, are in agreement that Wales are in the so-called group of death. However, I think that's a pretty tough group itself, isn't it? With only 2 going through from each group to the quarterfinals.
I think the reality is that all groups are tough at that stage, given the amount of teams, but I know what you're saying.
Well, there's a possibility as well, Simon, that Wales could face off against Denmark if they come through their groups in the quarters.
Holland, it's an exciting time, and Holland wants to add to that excitement. Good cross into Jones. It's still there for Woodham. James. Ladd. Lofted ball into Kane. Tries to poke it through to James, and Jones also trying to get hold of the loose ball.
Well, it was Holland again, wasn't it? That just making her way down that right-hand side in that 1v1 situation.
Did really well.
Yeah, she picks her head up. 2 players making runs, but nobody going towards that back post. It's good defending, but Thorgensen, to be fair.
Denmark on the attack, Bredgard. From Holmgaard, it goes over to Zvava. Harder and Brun waiting in the middle. Bredgard. Well, Wales just managing to re-establish their shape at the back there after that quick counter-attack from Denmark, but all it needs is one good delivery here. Kerry Holland again with the clearance away. Pass Bow. Harder. Josie Green with a foot in. Ladd. And one back by Harder. You can't give this player room, even in those wide positions.
No, I think just the defensive attributes then of Hayley Ladd being able to stand up as well, not dive in. because as you said, Harder, she can go either way, and she just glides across.
Torgerson looking for the return ball from Bredgard. Gemma Evans trying the long ball to Kane. But Denmark are about to make a couple of changes, triple change in fact, we're hearing. Woodham. Well, clearly Denmark feel that this Wales team have been hard to break down and that changes are needed. And with play stopped, it may give the Danish bench the chance to make these changes. There's certainly activity on that bench, and
yeah, there's some good players coming off. We just see this replay again. Hayley Ladd checks her shoulder, maybe a little bit unaware of Hasbro, but a couple of times she has half to, and Hasbro's been pulling on his shirt, and that's maybe why we saw the element of frustration.
Header won by Rowe, did well. Kane. Holland. Rowe looking for the Kane's run. Just overhit slightly.
Yeah, the idea was right there, wasn't it? The combination, just, as you said, overhit, as we see it again, just that run in from Hannah Kane's pace in behind. Again, just in that final third, the accuracy.
Well, Brunn is off, and in her place comes Amelie Vangsgaard of Juventus. And Emma Sneller in for Katarine Kohl. And the other change is Yanni Thompson. Plays for Utah Royals, on for Bredgard. So a complete change in midfield and attack, Gwenan, for the Danes.
Yeah, well, we've seen them change shape as well in the second half, so they're obviously looking at different aspects themselves as they prepare for the summer ahead. Not some bad substitutions if you can bring the likes of Vangsgaard, Juventus player, off the bench.
Well, how will Wales adapt with these changes? Holgard giving away the free kick. Yeah, I don't think there's too many complaints with that challenge on Rachel Rowe. Holgard, a Everton player. And then we see Andre Jelgerts, who's been in charge pretty much for 2 years now. Did spend 6 years in charge of the Finnish women's team. But with an hour gone, this game at a critical stage, Gwenan.
Yeah, Wales will be more than happy.
And, speak too soon, but Harder's away. Harder, he's got Zvava on the back post. Finds her first time. Well, she did have time to take a first touch, and maybe another after that.
She definitely had a lot more time than she realised. Wales were lucky there. I think if that first touch had maybe opened up the play for it, then Wales would have definitely been in a 2v1 situation. Again, just unforced errors.
Woodham just stopped by Torgerson. It was a good, clean tackle. Trollsgaard. Harder. Plays it to that back post. Roof of the net. Well, Vangsgaard was on that back post. I think Clark had it covered.
Yeah, she did. She looked comfortable there. You just see, the work from Angahara James having to make those recovery runs so Josie Green can recover back to the central defence position, and Hara James just forcing the error then.
Gemma Evans. Well, a lot has changed since Denmark won 5-1 in Cardiff in 2023 in what was then a Nations League game. Wales maybe holding on slightly, but holding their own, certainly in the Nations League. As Evans fires it forward for Kane to chase. I think probably speaks to the development maybe under Rian Wilkinson in this past year or so.
Yeah, it does. I think you got to look at the development of the Danish side as well, because let's not forget 2021 actually Wales held Denmark to a 1-1 draw in a friendly, and here right at the start of Gemma Granger's regime as well. I think with all teams now, they're all developing the investment so much higher.
Vangsgaard up against Evans. Played it to Sneller. Woodham concedes the corner. Disappointed with herself. I think she thought that would go out for a throw. And what that does mean is that Wales have to defensively be up to the task. Full concentration now. And it's Zvava with the corner. Zvava, this is her 57th cap. Played it short to Sneller. Torgerson. Sneller. Zvava. Two players to beat, couldn't get past on Harry James. Wales just sitting back here, maybe inviting a bit of pressure from Denmark. And the attacking has been relentless again, Hasbo. Nice ball to Thompson. Goal kick. And Gemma Evans there with a sliding interception.
She does enjoy a slide tackle to Gemma Evans, but 99 times out of 100 the timing is absolutely perfect, and it was again this time. Just see then it flicks off Thompson. But you've got to get the timing right in those areas, obviously in the box, because if you don't, you're in big trouble.
Well, the goalkeeper Ostergaard is receiving treatment here. She's down. Sorry, Olivia Clark is the one receiving treatment, and it does give Wales the opportunity to speak with Rian Wilkinson. And I've noticed that Jess Fishlock has been part of these pitch-side discussions as well.
Yeah, I think it's a tactic now that's very well employed by most teams in most games, to be totally honest. Just gives an opportunity when the keeper goes down, because obviously they can't be substituted off, just to regroup, refocus.
Well, that's how the game started. The goal from Brunn, but Kerry Holland bringing Wales back into it. And that's how the game stands at the moment, Gwen, and 1-1. And Olivia Clark, not Ostergaard, but Olivia Clark is back on her feet.
As anticipated. I got to be honest, it's actually something that I don't enjoy seeing, that the keeper's going down. Just, I mean, if it plays to Wales' favour, then I'll eat all my words and take them back.
Newcastle's Lois Joel, Gwenan. Seen her a few times in the Wilkinson regime so far.
Yeah, started the last game, didn't she? But just couldn't quite get into the game, maybe have the impact that she would have liked to. Hopefully she'll be able to get into areas.
And the other change sees Harry James come off. And Rachel Rowe is the player who's replaced by Joel, but with James off, it's Alice Griffiths of Southampton. It's really put in some fine performances under Wilkinson, in fact, Alice Griffiths. And you'll notice the captain's armband, Gwenan, going to Hayley Ladd. Yeah,
going back to Alice Griffiths out in Ireland, in Dublin, I thought she was outstanding in that game. She was instrumental in that physical performance by Wales.
Clark back on her feet and looking for Holland, who wins the header. Sneller beaten by Griffiths. Jones, who returns to Sweden on Tuesday. She plays her domestic football there, Carrie Jones. On the free kick.
That's brilliant work. You know, you've got two players around. You just have to be able to have the strength to hold the ball up, win something.
Roberts. Green. Steps forward, Vangsgaard stays with her, so she opts to go back to Clark. It's a sloppy ball, and it's Vava looking to get in behind, but Olivia Clark was up to the task. And good sportsmanship to check her teammates okay, but Zvava was in there.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't for actually Josie Green using her body superbly well to shield Zvava so that Olivia Clark can come out and collect the ball. She just takes one in the back of her. She takes one in the back of her left knee. She's already got strapping on it, and then Olivia Clark actually climbs to the front of her knee as well. But she's straight back up.
Ostergaard, international since 2022. Trollsgaard, this her 194th cap tonight, is actually second in the all-time list behind Katrin Pedersen, who's on 210.
Oh.
Ball up towards Harder. Vanguard. Torgerson. What a with the tackle. Well, they've had to put up with sustained periods of pressure from Denmark-Wales. But if they can get another point against a top-class opposition, I know there's more than 20 minutes to go, Gwenan, but it'd be so encouraging if they could do what they did against Sweden here against Denmark in Cardiff.
Oh, it certainly would, and I think it's Wales are unbeaten in 6 home matches now, and against good opposition teams as well.
Torgerson's ball is an excellent one. Vangsgaard should have made it 2-1, and she knows it. A player of her quality you would expect to find the back of the net there.
Oh yeah, she'll be ruin this chance. It'll play through her mind quite a few times. When you've got the time to be able to even have a touch in the box. See if Rhiannon Roberts gets caught, and it's the first time Josie Green also has not been tracking her run, tracking her shoulder. And she's just got to keep the ball down there more than anything. A lot easier said than done, especially used to play in the forward positions. It's a lot harder for the goalkeeper to react when the ball is kept down low.
Foul by Alice Griffiths. It was well worked. There was a ball over the top from Trollsgaard, eventually at the feet of Vangsgaard. And the substitute putting it over when maybe she had time to consider placement, maybe. Play switch to Balsinger. Trollsgaard. One back for Wales by James, and Holland is away. Holland, first time ball, looking for Carrie Jones. Still had so much work to do, but getting herself in that right position.
Yeah, she's been in there quite a few times, hasn't she? There's maybe a question, do you hold your width?
Kane putting the goalkeeper Ostergaard under pressure. That's an excellent first touch from Thompson. It runs straight into Woodham. Holland, Woodham. Rhiannon Roberts. Ladd on the turn. Oh, what a shame. There were options in front of her. And now Vangsgaard brings it away. Well, let's bring in Sophie Ingle, who's part of our team tonight. And Sophie, if it stays like this, well, actually, hold your thought. It's Hannah Kane. Kane for 2-1. Oh, good save from Ostergaard. Well, that was a splendid opportunity for Wales to take the lead. Well, it was a ball over the top. We'll get Sophie Ingle's thoughts on that in just a moment. But it's Denmark responding. It's Vangsgaard, 2-1. From one end to the pitch to the other, Denmark turned defence into attack, and it's 2-1. Wales so close to taking the lead, and now they find themselves behind.
Yeah, well, she was making no mistake with that one, was she's just waiting for Olivia Clark to come out and then just slips it. Good finish, slips it through the legs. Again, Wales will be really disappointed, especially to be played through the middle, and especially as they just had an opportunity to actually take the lead themselves. Well, it was a composed finish this time. We saw Vangsgaard waste the opportunity as we go back to the earlier chance. She does well, Hanneke. She takes that first touch, and it's at a height which is quite difficult. She uses her thigh to get it out in front of her, but then if you watch, she goes for power rather than placement, and it's quite an easy save then for Ostergaard. Credit where it's due, she's hitting the target, but you're expecting better at international level, and Wales have been punished for it.
A tale of two one-on-ones, and it was Vangsgaard who converted hers. But Jones trying to make inroads into that Danish defence. And you know, Gwenna, I was about to say to Sophie, and I'm sure we will speak to Sophie in due course, but at 1-1 you'd certainly take this, but it's all changed again now.
Oh, most certainly. Yeah, when you think about the rankings, you know, Denmark's 12th in the world compared to Wales at 30th, and their history and tradition, 5 World Cup appearances, 11 Euros. You know, they're a big name within the, and got a big tradition within women's football. So to be holding them at 1-1, yes, we are developing nation, but they are a good team. But they've just shown, you know, what you need at the highest level, which is to be ruthless and take your chances.
Holland standing over it, Woodham too. Wales need a second equaliser to lift this crowd. The Polish referee taking her time to blow the whistle here. Lots of pushing and shoving inside that penalty area. It's Holland. Is it too close to the keeper? Well, it's headed away, and the decision goes Denmark's way. Well, it was a packed penalty area, and the keeper was surrounded. You can hear what the crowd think of that.
That was a really good delivery, actually, from Kerry Holland. I think it's a really soft decision as well. You can see again by the reaction, you tend to know by the reactions of players when they're asking for things, or they're frustrated with certain, when you've got more than one appealing, tends to paint a picture.
And Ostergaard will take the free kick. Long ball out to Zvava. Rihanna Roberts. That's a good ball to Hannah Kane. Joel. Asbo just protecting that ball. It's not got the legs to run out for a goal kick. Well, let's hear from Sophie Ingle. We did promise you Sophie Ingle, and Sophie is pitchside for us, and my word, what a passage of play that was, Sophie, but what a sickener for Wales to go behind.
Yeah, at this level, that's where the clinicalness comes in, and as you can see, we should score that goal. It's a great ball over the top, and Hannah's in there. She just takes her touch a little bit wide. She waits for it to come down, and you know, probably gives the keeper a chance, and then 20 seconds later they're the other end in our defensive third, and exactly the same through ball, and they score the goal.
Well, let's hope that Wales can take advantage of this corner kick. Woodham to take. And committing bodies into that box, and Lois Joel standing on the foot of Ostergaard there. I think the referee is just saying, look, get on with it. But she's taken that position, Joel, right in front of the goalkeeper. And you can see a few red shirts on the back post as well. Among them Ladd and Green and Gemma Evans. Delivery towards Evans. Keeper did well. Really crowded penalty area and got a punch on it.
Yeah, and a big punch as well. Away, out of the danger area, good distance. Which actually gets quite a clean run on it. Which is surprising given the amount of bodies that were in the area.
Well, had Wales scored that goal to make it 2-1. Who would have betted against Wales from winning this game? But all change in a matter of seconds. And full credit to Vangsgaard with a, as Sophie Ingle put it, a clinical finish. Holland. Ball for Kane to attack. Falls for Joel.
No, she did well. That was Joel just to get to the second ball, but I'm not sure if she's just trying to punch it back in, if I'm honest. Just doesn't quite get the connection on it.
Played out from Sneller to Zvava. Vangsgaard. Zvava wants the return pass. She's got it. And doesn't make it 3-1. But it was a really good chance again.
Yeah, well, the gap's opened up because obviously Kerry Holland was higher up the pitch. Rhiannon Roberts is being pulled across. And then Josie Green is being dragged across by the movements from Vangsgaard. Just see Gemma Evans in the central areas, just trying to hold her position and then come out and limit the angle right at the last minute. She just did enough.
Clark tried to find Kerry Holland, who is in some discomfort here. She's remained down and the referee has stopped the play. Maybe studs in the back of her leg. But she really has put in a shift tonight, Kerry Holland. And in terms of Wales's attacking options for Ian Wilkinson, she's been among the best.
Yeah, when doesn't she, to be honest? You know, she works like a Trojan up and down the wing, or if she's playing in these wing back positions as we've seen, she just takes the, just see there as her legs planted, makes contact. She just takes the full force of the follow through.
Sneller doing a Hayley Ladd on Hayley Ladd, finding space. Torgerson. Harder. Svava just about helping it on its way. Holmgaard. Kerry Holland again. And wins a goal kick.
Yeah, crunching tackle. As we said, just works so hard up and down, but she really enjoys the physical battle.
No shirking from that tackle. There it gets Holmgaard again. Quite a contest between those two. And Holland wins the throw. Kerry Holland was a big character in both the playoff games, both the playoff ties, I should say, because they were two-legged, weren't they? No doubt will be in Switzerland as well. Joel. The through ball for Hannah Kane. Going elsewhere in the group, there's Sweden 3-2 up against Italy, we're hearing. In fact, we've just heard that Sweden have beaten Italy, Gwenan, by 3-2.
Yeah, and I think they were looking to, you know, make up for the dropped points, as they were saying, against Wales in the last game, so they're currently on top of the group. Things stay as they stand.
And Wales' next opponents are Sweden in Gothenburg on Tuesday. And so far, Wales the only team to take anything from Sweden in this group. Can Wales get something tonight? Vangsgaard, who got that second goal. Nice ball to Thompson. Sneller. Former West Ham player. Bolsinger. Holmgaard. Well, Hasbo, and again, Kerry Holland has gone crunching it, and she stayed down here. Well, hopefully she is okay. Wales are continuing to play. And you'll see at the top of your screen there that Kerry Holland is still down, but here's Jones. And Joel's ball will roll out potentially for a goal kick. Carrie Jones conceding the throw, but perhaps more pressing and more concerning is in the centre of the pitch here. Kerry Holland has not got up.
Oh, she looks in a lot of discomfort there, doesn't she?
Oh no, well we hope that this isn't serious. Hasbo went in with Holland, who has remained down here.
Yeah, she looks in serious discomfort. When you saw the pictures just of her face, and as we've already mentioned, in the last couple of minutes, just, how hard she is, really. She's always bouncing back up, loves the physical aspect of the game. But you could just see how, she was actually late into the tackle there.
Well, I'm sure every single Wales fan has their fingers crossed here. You could see the distress. And those supporters will be very, very concerned here. Well, concerned faces in Cardiff, and with just reason.
You were just talking as well about, the difference she can make in an attacking sense. We know defensively as well. So it'll be a big loss just as we come to see her goal now. Just cuts back in and then rifles one into the roof of the net.
Well, tears of joy for Kerry Holland there. Maybe see Vangsgaard's second for Denmark, but I have to say tears for pain. Oh, this is heartbreaking to watch. Well, a stretcher has come on. We hope that's only precautionary. But for Rhian Wilkinson and for Wales, this is a very concerning sight with the European Championships to come in the summer.
Oh, we're just hoping, if it is as serious as it seems, and possibly a broken leg, that's maybe a clean fracture, easier to come back from. We've seen the likes of Joe Ledley getting back for Euro 2016. But obviously nobody wishes anybody a serious injury like that, and hopefully, as you said, it's just precautionary more than anything.
There is a hushed tone all around the Cardiff City Stadium as Ella Powell prepares to come on.
Well, Elise Hughes was lined up ready to go as well. I'm not sure if maybe they've changed their mind. No, she's still down there.
You can see the concerned faces from the Wales supporters. Yeah, Elise Hughes better come on as well.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of the Glantaf pupils there in the crowd, so I'm sure they will give me the rundown on the match report and the concern, how much they're concerned on Monday.
Well, we're not showing you the pictures, but Kerry Holland has remained on the floor inside that centre circle, and a lot of medical staff surrounding her, I think, putting her on that stretcher, strapping her up, and in the meantime it's Jess Fishlock with words of wisdom for some of the younger players there.
Are we looking into the future here? Looking at her there on the sideline?
Well, it's noticeable how much of a voice she has on that sideline, Jess Fishlock.
Yeah, she's done a few...
And why wouldn't you use that?
Oh, of course, yeah. She's got a real amazing, intelligent football brain. She's always a study in the game.
Well, you can see at the bottom of your screen there, Josie Green has just been replaced, and Elise Hughes has come on. And the other change, unfortunately, is for Kerry Holland, who is still receiving treatment. And as you can see in the centre of your screen there, Gwenan, the medical team are taking no risks at all and making sure that she leaves the pitch in comfort, but it's gut-wrenching to look at.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's hard to know what to say in those circumstances. As we said, we just hope and keep everything crossed that it's a precautionary for the need for the stretcher, and that it's not as bad as first feared. However, it doesn't look great, especially seeing how much she was wincing in pain.
A standing ovation for Kerry Holland, who is leaving the field with assistance on a stretcher. And as Ella Powell awaits to come onto the pitch, the red wall is paying its tribute to a player who has been an outstanding performer so far in this Nations League campaign and got Wales back into this tie. And we really hope that this isn't as serious as it looks, but well, it's an emotional response and you can understand why.
Yeah, most certainly, but I'm hoping that she'll take a little bit of comfort in the support she's having going off the pitch.
Applause from Ella Powell. And there we see Kerry Holland going down the tunnel and being replaced. I'm sure we will try and get some update as soon as we can on her condition.
I think it's a like-for-like swap now for Holland, for Powell, and then we've just seen Elise Hughes go up top. Lois Joel just dropping into a more deeper position as she competes there in centre midfield, and then Hayley Ladd dropping back into defence in the absence of Josie Green.
Well, that was always the fear, wasn't it, with the Euros around the corner, that a key player could miss out with injury. We certainly hope that's not the case with Kerry Holland. In the meantime, Wales will have ample added time at least to try and get back into this one. But it has sort of sucked the life out of this crowd almost, the energy out of it, you feel, Gwenan.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you there. You know, it's never nice, is it? People don't know how to react either. Just hope Wales can give them something to lift the spirits again.
Here's Hughes. In towards Lily Woodham. Of course, there's another test to come, Gwenan, on Tuesday. Sweden, who one of the forces of international football, no doubt about that. And it will be a different test compared to the test that Wales had at home in Wrexham, out in Gothenburg. Yeah,
well, and they're more of a direct side, I'd say. We saw that on occasions, actually, up in Wrexham. And as we know, Wales rode their luck, stayed in the game, and frustrated Sweden as well.
Ball goes back to Ostergaard.
Looking back to that Sweden performance, you know, they only actually had one shot on target.
10 minutes added on, largely due to that Kerry Holland injury. Griffiths. We've just had official confirmation of a crowd of 6,779. And Ella Powell has gone down here.
Yeah, it was just coming together. See how she lands as well. She's also got tape around her knees, top of her quads.
Woodham preparing this free kick. Floated delivery from Woodham. And almost every single red shirt near that Danish penalty area. Hughes played the ball through to Carrie Jones. And the snapshot from Kane. It was Joel.
Well, it was similar to the Hannah Kane effort in the first half, and it was just falling in front of her and she just pulled the trigger, leaning over. just cuts across it slightly there, doesn't she? But the technique's good, body over the ball. In those areas, can you test, can you work the goalkeeper, can you keep it on target at least? And then as we've seen already, 2 deflections in this game, you never know.
Griffiths picking up the ball and playing it to Evans. Woodham, good first touch. Griffiths, options. And the deflected pass goes back to Hayley Ladd. If you have just joined us, by the way, incidentally, on BBC One Wales, and you're wondering why there is 10 minutes of added time, it is because of what looked like a serious injury to Kerry Holland. And it's a throw in to Denmark. Ball down to Harder. Hayley Ladd doing what Hayley Ladd does so well. Still time for a goal in this game, Gwenan, for Wales.
Oh, more than enough. We've seen the difference in 20 seconds with the Denmark second goal. Could have been a different story had Hannah Kane taken that chance. So they've got to just keep believing.
Vangsgaard. Evans putting in the foot with Joel.
Oh, she's been superb this evening, Gemma Evans. Lily Woodham as well, down that left-hand side.
To have a consistent centre-back is one thing, but sort of a left-sided centre-back can be a luxury sometimes, but Gemma Evans fills that position so well for Wales. Has to contest with Vangsgaard here. Harder. Well, she's taken it to the corner flag, which is a sign of respect to Wales, I think. Torgerson. Thompson. Sneller. Torgerson. Thompson. And Evans again, just making sure she's cornered by that flag, and it goes out for a throw.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, Simon, in terms of Denmark just showing maybe that respect to Wales in terms of how important these 3 points are. Close the game is, still at this scoreline, you never know what can happen. So forget that the top 2 in the group will stay in the group. Whereas the bottom 2 then, 3rd place will play a playoff against the runner-up in Group B, and 4th place automatically relegated. So, the points are really important to them.
I think Denmark were anticipating the offside flag against Vangsgaard. Clark. What a journey she's had, Olivia Clark, over the years. Bristol City, Coventry, started all those years ago at Boston. Griffiths will go up for the header. Bounce favourably. The challenge from Holmgaard. Griffiths again winning the ball. Evans. Well, how do Wales approach this now, these final few minutes? 2-1 down.
Oh, look. Ooh, see something off the ball there. Gemma Evans just checking the run of Harder.
And Harder remains down. Wales have no obligation to put the ball out. The referee may stop the play, but again, it was not a head injury.
No, she just checked the run. It was good play from Gemma Evans. Just checked the run.
Ball over the top, and Harder is back at her feet. She looks okay to me, and she's going to chip Olivia Clark. Well, that would have been something special for 3-1.
Oh, the vision here. There's not many players, especially on a so-called weaker foot, that can just execute. It's just that accuracy. It's not far off, is it? The vision to be able to just spot the run and take that as you're running onto the ball as well. It's a difficult skill. It's a lot easier when the ball's slowed down.
I don't think Rhian Wilkinson will care much about respectable scorelines. They'll want an equaliser here, Wales. They'll want a free kick from Hughes. They haven't got it. There's always the danger, isn't it, if you go for it at this stage, then Denmark can hit you on the break and then it's suddenly a 3-1 scoreline.
Yeah, but for me, I think why not? I think you'd rather lose 3-1 and know that you've gone for it and given it and thrown the kitchen sink at it than settle for a loss, because you're going to lose anyway. And be defensive.
Jones to Powell. Roberts steps forward. Luckily, it may bounce favourably for Powell, but it has gone out for a throw. And time is running out at the Cardiff City Stadium. Ladd. Clark well out of the penalty area here. Could have been so different had Hannah Kane perhaps converted that one-on-one, and Wales would have been 2-1 up and may have been tempted to shut up shop maybe, but as it is Denmark who lead. Gemma Evans safely back to Olivia Clark. It's those sliding doors moments sometimes, Gwenan.
Most certainly, yes.
Hughes, cushioned header to Kane. Hughes has the chance. Could fall for Powell. Still there for Wales. Roberts, Joel. Griffiths tried to find Woodham and couldn't find her.
Oh, I thought it was going to fall for Elise Hughes then. The way she just swiveled her body, used her body really well. Just a turn. Just as Thompson did as well, to be fair. Manipulated the ball really, really well, used her body. Just see, yeah, she's just being held behind, and she clever play from Thompson.
Into the last minute. A flick on from Harder straight to Clark. Well, this is it for Wales. Need to get the ball down the other end of the pitch if they're to get anything from this game. Hughes with a flick on. Joel wins it back. And Evans went fully committed. And Vangsgaard is heading for the corner. We've said it before, but this is of great respect to Wales. Denmark know that they've been in a contest tonight, and they are protecting this 3 points. It's a goal kick, but Vangsgaard wanted more. But we said it before, Gwenan, it's a sign of respect, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. As you said, you know, the importance of finishing in the top 2 in the group. This is a big 3 points, especially with the score so tight.
And you see Vangsgaard was booked for a protest. It's a defeat to Denmark in Cardiff. It could have been so different had Hannah Kane converted her chance, but Vangsgaard got the winner in the end. A defeat, but thoughts surely dwell on Kerry Holland's condition and her injury in this last home game before the Euros. But it's Denmark who come from Cardiff unscathed, and they have beaten Wales here in the capital city. It's finished. Wales 1, Denmark 2.
Well, it could have been so different, couldn't it? Hannah Kane, she had an opportunity, but it is defeat for Wales. It is Rhian Wilkinson's first defeat at home. But let's talk about the performance, because as Simon said there, they know Denmark, that they've had a real match on their hands this evening.
Simon said, I like that, Katrin. Yeah, and do you know what? I was just reflecting now, and it's so easy for us to be negative because we did have a chance to take the lead, and the nature of how quickly they punished us for that miss. It's savage at this level, but just thinking back to how far this team has come, there wasn't even celebrations on Kerry Holland's equaliser, really. It was almost like a a relief. Right, we're finally back in the game, let's actually start playing. So you can see how disappointed the players are to go down 2-1 to such big hitters in European football. Again, I'm sure Wilkinson will say there's plenty to take from that game. It's really difficult in this moment, though, to look beyond the disappointment of what happened to Kerry Holland, and just from all of us here, sending our thoughts that that's not as bad as it maybe looked.
Yeah, Kerry Holland, it looked bad. Obviously, we can't speculate, but we have got everything crossed for her, haven't we, Sophie?
Yeah, she's such a key player for us right now. I think she's on the trajectory of like being really strong and always going to be a starter. And yet it didn't look nice. It was contact. I couldn't really see a twist or anything. So sometimes it's better if it is just straight contact. But yeah, the fact that she was, you know, quite upset and stayed down, it's not like her. She normally gets up pretty much straight away. Yeah,
we are wishing her all the best. We will bring you an update when we get it. I asked you before the match what would be a good result, considering 18 months ago we were stood here and they had lost 5-1. You said to me, actually, 2-1 Denmark. That wouldn't be a bad result.
Yeah, I think considering the chances that Denmark had in terms of stats, they had quite a lot of shots, but not really clear-cut chances. I don't think Liv really had to make, you know, she probably made that save first half, tipped over the bar, but other than that, she didn't really get tested. So that's another good thing, that we're not giving them easy chances. Of course, we want to limit the shots, but you know, defensively, I think we grew into the game and we were a bit more organised after that 20-minute period to start the game.
It's small margins, isn't it? Because Hannah Kane, if that goes in, the game is very different, the result is very different. Is it just being clinical? Is that what we're talking here?
Yeah, absolutely, and they're almost identical chances, aren't they? One-on-one. I know I've never really played centre-forward for Wales, maybe once or twice, and it didn't end up in many goals, but you almost can see that she's overthinking the chance. She's been starved of any type of service like that, and she's thinking about it. You can see her now, she's ruined that missed opportunity. It's weighing heavy on her. It always will as strikers, but she's just waiting for it to come down. It's so straight. If you look at Vansgaard chance, she actually takes a little touch so that she's got an angle to finish it off under the goalkeeper, but that's the difference between the two sides.
Well, we feel disappointed, don't we? But in the end, it was only 2-1 Denmark. Do remember, they are a top side, ranked 12th in the world. But Wales, they have to pick themselves up because they go again on Tuesday. Thank you very much for your company. Thank you very much to you at home for your company as well. We are wishing Kerry Holland the best. We will see you Tuesday night. Good night. Dosta.
Well, it's a sun-drenched night in Cardiff and another top-seeded test for Wales in the Nations League. Oh, and it's in! Brunt just swung that left foot. Roberts. Holland. Kerry Holland! It's Hannah Kane for 2-1! Oh. From one end to the pitch to the other, Denmark turned defence into attack.